trudge along a little bit. U.S. Metroid Prime is coming out to the United States. Federation Force, August 19th. Moving on. Uh,
I was writing down in my notes to make sure I had that edited out as a snippet. And then it's like by the time I finished in writing in 36-minute mark, you're like, okay, moving on. Like we're not going to talk about Metroid Prime. I guess we've
yeah,
talked about it quite a bit, like in our
yeah, we've
impressions of
kind
it.
of beat it to death. I think I was just kind of moving. It was more of a joke that I was just moving right along
Yeah.
because we really don't. I can't say I'm looking forward. I really don't care. When I heard that bit of news, I really had almost zero zero change or feeling in
I'm
my body.
surprised. I mean, to touch on it briefly, I'm surprised that it's not already coming out. That it's not like release it in late May, have it on the
Yeah.
show floor at E3.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
have people play it, try it out, push it out. I mean, August 19th. What
Yeah,
is?
they
I mean, the
must
NX will be coming out like 2 months later.
yeah, they must I wouldn't be surprised if that'd be so crazy if at E3 we have a whole other like just like the treehouse, like day 3, dedicating hours to Metroid Prime Federation Force, so we can
They may be
understand.
trying. They may
Yeah,
be.
and they're gonna bring out the developer guy again to explain why why we need to play this
Yeah,
game.
it's gonna be weird having a Nintendo Treehouse this year at E3 without Eric.
Yeah,
It's
and
gonna be.
Allison, because sometimes
Yeah.
she's there too.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was hosting several times, and like she
Yeah.
was usually like out on the show floor, like talking to people and
Yeah.
stuff.
Hmm.
And I think was there any? I thought there was maybe someone else that left. I know it was
Um.
Allison and Eric, but I mean, yeah, just when you have a treehouse like that, that's just filled with like recognizable faces and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's just gonna be weird to have anyone missing. But
Yeah.
no, those are a good group of people. Like, I love those people so much. Like, they're such good hosts, and like, you just want to hang out with them.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like a fun little
So
team.
I would watch them play in Federation Force and try to just. Cause that's always the fun thing is they're trying.
Yeah.
Like, and I think like with Super Mario Maker, they loved that game. Like, and you could tell they're like, "Give me the
Yeah.
controller back." Like, I want to show you the level I made.
Hmm.
Then you can tell there's other times where they're like, "And this game is cool because like
I
look at."
was rewatching the Star Fox because that just came out of the last year's E3 when they did some of the Star Fox coverage and the earlier version and stuff because it's kind of quite a bit of change going on in like the final release, but how they brought in the guy who had like really mastered the controls well, and they
Mhm.
were kind of sitting back. They like we brought in this guy who's like he's our master pilot in the treehouse, and like he's really good and has it down the whole like doing everything, and it seemed like they kind of just let him take over and show off how it works because they probably could have bombed really badly attempting it,
Yeah.
but it was cool to see somebody who had that they actually had somebody who just kind of clicked for them, kind of like it did for us, I think, and for many other people who really didn't have as much trouble with the motion controls or was a little more able to put it together. And I think it has a lot to do, I think, with people who maybe are a little more casual at gaming and a little more hardcore who have put time into like you and I have got really deep into Smash Brothers and learning all the intricate things about that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just you know,
Yeah.
it's cool that yeah they did that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, yeah, like we just mentioned, that kind of like what started this whole conversation of Federation Force. It will be interesting to see, I guess, more coverage of that. Like they're going to probably have to shift kind of a focus and do their whole marketing for that. If they, I mean, because it seems like they like it. It seems like Nintendo has some sort of fancy with that game, probably because of the Metroid Prime name. But it seems like they're kind of putting a lot of effort and resources into making that like a nice, careful
Yeah,
package. And so it'll be
honest.
interesting to see if at E3 they do have something like that. And also it'll be weird to see if they are going to be announcing the NX soon or at E3, and if they have a Metroid game launching with that
Yeah,
or
that'd
any
be really
sort of
cool.
announcement to share. If Federation Force will kind of be a tease for that,
Yeah, they
like
could do that's a really good point because if they do announce a Metroid game at E3, then suddenly I think that it will alleviate a lot of that pain for Federation Force, and it'll actually bring a lot of hype for it because that's what a lot of people said they should have done originally is that the like the butt hurt over Metroid Prime Federation Force wouldn't have been nearly as bad if it wasn't like the Metroid game that had been announced within like how many years since we last had one, and last had a really good one, and everybody's been waiting for the Wii U one or the next really big Metroid Prime game, and then we get Federation Force. So if they would have done announcing a Wii U one, or even just announcing a generic just Metroid's coming and not say which console or something like that, and then announced Federation Force as your supplement of just of some missions and some little fun things to do while you wait for it. I think it would have been like so like a dramatically different reaction.
Yeah.
And if they even, and I think they still have chance, if they did announce the Metroid game, then people would be like, okay, like we don't feel quite as bad. Like maybe we'll check out
Yeah.
this game because now we're feeling like like it's coming. We're kind of getting back in the Metroid mindset, and we're like overflowing with hype for Metroid. And I don't know, honestly, I was kind of thinking like, what happened to that? Is that Blast Ball Metroid Prime Federation Blast Ball thing coming still? Because it was kind of
That
like Rocket League,
that's a part of Federation Force.
and yeah, that seemed almost a little more fun than Federation Force.
Well,
Because
it's in Federation Force is like a combination of kind of like things like that, where there's going to be Blast Ball, which is a part of Federation Force. There's missions. I mean, it's just like a culmination of kind of
yeah,
that style, where it's just like four
yeah,
player multiplayer Metroid games, which
and that seemed pretty fun. I thought the Blast Ball
yeah, it
thing.
could be a cool like it could if their whole strategy is announce the NX and announce a Metroid coming to that, and then hey, while you wait for that, pick up Federation Force. I think Federation Force will be the Triforce Heroes of Zelda, or like of Metroid, where we're waiting for Zelda NX or Zelda U, but Triforce Heroes was a mobile multiplayer Zelda game to play while we wait, which had quirky, different style of Zelda, but it was something to kind of give you something to play for the holiday season of Zelda.
Hmm.
And Federation Force is kind of shaping up to be that same thing, where it's a different style, different gameplay, not like the typical Metroid Prime that we know, but it may be more fun to play. And like someone like me who picked up Triforce Heroes is kind of enjoying it, knowing that there's something else coming along the way, and this is just kind of a taste of Zelda while I wait. And so that may work in its favor, and that would maybe explain the August 19th release date. But yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully to do something to like to win us over in the upcoming months, because what they've shown so far is just not not. I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah,
I
it's
want to be a positive force for Nintendo on the internet, but it's just like you got it. I mean, it's not bad, but it's definitely not good.
It's
It's
something that definitely took way too long to come out. You can tell that it's a really old game
yeah,
that's
that
just
that
now
sunk cost
finally,
fallacy we talked about, like with the
yeah.
whole. It's just someone did not want to give up on it since 2009, and
Hmm.
it shows. But that doesn't mean necessarily that it's going to be get bad gameplay wise. But they're going to have to sell us on the gameplay to make up for the graphics, because we're not graphic nuts, but like we will accept the fact that, I mean, like even with Star Fox, for example, we'll talk about that more in the review. But Star Fox in a lot of areas can be a very like unappealing visually game.
Well, and it's
Uh,
not, I don't think it's just about like personally, I think it's a lot about like what I was saying, I think Blast Ball almost seems like a little more fun. It's like really, I don't feel like going with three people into these little kind of mini Metroid levels and beating
yeah,
some little mini boss thing and shooting at him and I don't know, maybe like you do upgrade and get transformations. Like when I watched like IGN did a little bit of trying to do the whole convincing thing, and Jose did with a few people play through a level, and it made me, kind of when we talked about it before, and I was like, still it doesn't seem that great, but it did do a little
yeah,
bit of convincing. Like, there's some ways that it could, but I don't know, overall, it's not the kind of Metroid experience that is like what you want. You don't want to go with, it's almost like Triforce Heroes in a way where you're getting it's not designed for that kind of experience necessarily. And who was asking for the Metroid game where you're with your little chibi Metroid people with three other friends or whatever it is, and you're going through these like really, and then it looks bad, and then it's just on a small screen, and I don't know, it just seems like who wanted it? It seems like nobody was asking for it, and that's kind of one of the main gripes, like besides the fact that it doesn't look that great. It's just who one like nobody really likes that much. I don't think. Maybe they were thinking like the Monster Hunter is doing so great
Yeah, I
and
don't.
stuff like that, but it's just a different kind of thing, I think. But
Yeah, I don't get the whole Nintendo mentality right now of let's make every 3DS
right.
game multiplayer and
Yeah.
let's make every Wii U game single player because I would much
hmm
rather have
Or
Star
well,
Fox
and make it all
have
all single player with an element of co-op. There's got to be some like you got to be able to play it through in co-op and it.
yeah, couch co-op is a really big thing for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't get that like with Star Fox I can't hop with you online and have you flying as Slippy around, you know.
Yeah.
But I just when I'm playing my 3DS, I'm often not connected to Wi-Fi. I'm often like on commute or at a coffee shop or away, like maybe playing outside, or maybe I am on my couch. But when I'm playing my 3DS at home, it's because I want to sit down and play like a little 3DS game. Like I want to be just like kind of just focusing on this one solo adventure. But a lot of times I use my console games to connect with people online, and it's weird that like Nintendo has like the exact reverse mentality because I mean I just don't have access to Wi-Fi on the commute, and I don't have access to Wi-Fi when I'm on a long car ride home, and I don't have access to Wi. I mean, and these games are begging for that, and I mean maybe they're like focusing like on a car full of people or people gathering around on a trip, and they're all pull out their 3DS and they do local or something. I don't know. It seems I really wish they would stop with let's do Triforce Heroes, let's do Metroid Prime Federation Force, let's do Mario Party Island Tour on the 3DS.
hmm
And it's just like why and then you have Star Fox Zero with no online multiplayer, and you have Pikmin with like no online multiplayer, and you have I mean, what was the other game? I thought there was another one that's like a prime example of like I wish this had multiplayer, like online multiplayer, and it's just like, but those are all the console games, and I don't get that. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, it has a lot of single player too, or is able to be played in single player like Triforce Heroes is, and I haven't tried that out by
I
myself
think it
yet.
is. I
But
think it has like little just AI bots that help go along with you.
yeah, that and which hopefully they're not. Oh my gosh. Something just went in my throat and it hurt so bad.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Good night,
Hopefully it's okay.
everybody.
Bill Trinan just like heard somewhere in the ethos, Kaz is trash talking Nintendo. I better kill him.
And that was
Um,
Koppai. The end of Koppai forever.
just
It happened
some
live on air.
somewhere like Bill Trinan like has a little drop of my blood and he's just dropping it in the fire. Kaz didn't risk. Joffrey Baratheon, just going through.
I will not be on that podcast.
Oh man, yeah,
I
Bill,
don't go on
please.
podcasts.
I think that's our cue from Trinan himself to move on to the next subject.